Welcome to Cards of Insight, where we discuss all things tarot. And I'm Greg, and I live in London.
Anna here, joining you all the way from sunny Brazil.
Susan here. I'm here in Canada.
And Pavlina, greetings from London, UK.
And we are all tarot readers. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
We're doing pages today.
Oh.
Yeah. And I've got a question. And I'm going to ask, what is the usual attitude of the Page of Wands when facing or handling new challenges? Are they bold, fearless, or clueless?
I think there could be something of both, of all of these. I think they like to have challenges, and therefore, and they're very, I would say, probably more in your face. But if they're, feeling uncomfortable with themselves, and then they're not going to be up front. They could be more in the background, hiding out, or they could be. So they could be, I think they can also be kind of a little flaky if they're too excited about something.
They're
They
perhaps
can,
overly optimistic, I would say. Yeah. And when things start
right.
getting difficult, he kind
Yes.
of, oops, I didn't expect that. Yeah. Overly optimistic.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very immature.
hmm
Well, are they bold and they like challenges? I remember when I was a kid, we had them dangerous toys in the theme parks, and they were always the kids who would break something, a leg or an arm, because you're not supposed to hang on that thing. You're supposed to swing on it, but they decide that they're going to hang on it and fall off and break their arm. And that's typical of a Page of Wands. So I think probably their fearless is due to their youth, or maybe they haven't hurt themselves enough times. They need to learn. So definitely boldness, probably through liking a challenge and being inquisitive. Probably like an adventure, because nobody's climbed up there before.
Like,
Yeah.
I think he waves so around, saying, here's me.
hmm
I think they are not scared. The page is not scared to start all over again. Trying something new all the time and start again.
Yeah. Optimistic.
Yeah.
They are optimistic. I think the only problem I see with him is not thinking about consequences.
Yeah.
He's a moment guy. The opportunity is there, I'm taking it. It doesn't really think ahead, in 2 days, 3 days. Your example with the guy, breaking the arm is proof of that. I mean, and nobody really thinks, oh my God, I will break my arm and then have a cast and then stay, days without moving or something like that. They're living the moment. Just do it. It's it's the guy that just does it, and then we'll see the consequences later.
Do you think you would call him a cockeyed optimist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah, like not really like believing, that like the glass is half full, the glass is half empty, and they're always thinking it's all more full than empty, and not really understanding that the whole element of what the hell's going on.
Yeah, maybe.
They question it after or realize it after. Yeah, living in the present.
Yeah, if you
Yep.
if you think about the glass half full, he's gonna drink the the half that's there, and then he'll say, "Oh my God, I'm still thirsty, but there's no more water, so I have to face it." Yeah, he's living in the moment, and he likes it that way. And I think people who are too conservative or cautious or a little bit more mature, they say, hey, just hold your horses there. I mean, you have to think about consequences, and he brings some stamina to people. He brings some enthusiasm to the situation. He pumps people up, I think. Yeah, he's fun.
Yeah, he certainly
Yeah.
livelies up the party.
Yeah, he's fun. He's fun.
And they say you learn the hard way, and they are typical of that. Page of Wands is just someone loves learning the hard way. That's just in their nature. Like you were saying, they live in the moment. They don't care. And that person that broke their arm, they will break their arm again.
Yes. So what about if this page is this page slow, fast, hesitant, or prudent? When jumping into action, I think we answered that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. He likes
Definitely
the action.
Action.
Yeah.
Fortune favors the bold. And because they don't think of the consequences, they just jump at situations. That's why they get jackpot occasionally. I mean, they got the scars to show for it, but I like them for that. But especially when they're young, they're going to get hurt a lot more. Fearless and clueless. I love it, especially being a page, because the page represents either youth or inexperience or childish behavior.
Yes, they jump through action, definitely.
It reminds me of this sentence I read once. I don't remember where. This page of Wands kind of suggests that sentence that said, he didn't know it was impossible, so he did it.
Mhm.
So nobody told him it was impossible, so he did it.
Exactly, yeah.
I think if you ask him, can you travel the world in 365 days, he will say definitely.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And I think at times his head could be in the clouds because if you look at him, he's got his head upward, he's looking into the sky, and he's not watching the steps below. So that's why he needs this cane to make sure that he doesn't fall over his own 2 feet. That's what my feeling is. He's looking up, but he's not really watching where he's walking. So that could be a sign of cluelessness and verbalizing and not really thinking about so much where the hell is he.
Do you guys feel he has the energy of the fool?
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, just looking at
Yeah.
that picture, the only thing missing is a dog that would tell him what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't think that's a full of energy because the fool's got a dog and just running, right? This guy, he's got something to grown up. He has to become the fool, right? He's still small baby or boy or girl.
Yeah, he needs a dog.
Yeah, and needs a dog and train the dog first.
The page of Wands himself makes a noise. I mean, it is a noisy card because I always see him as a good communicator, getting out a bigger message. And I think the page of Wands would definitely make a noise. I mean, the fool's got the dog that barks, but the page of Wands, I don't think needs a dog. He makes enough noise, or she makes enough noise by themselves.
Well, he could also be one of those guys that he likes the sound of his own voice. So when he keeps talking, and but his audience has left. So he really likes the sound of his voice, unfortunately, at times. So he could be a little clueless in that respect.
Yeah, he could be erratic speaker.
Yep.
Maybe doesn't know yet what to talk about. Has to grown up. It's a page, right?
Yeah, but he's feeling the silence. He probably feels the silence when if there's silence in a room, he feels he's got to fill it.
Yes.
Okay, so do we have more questions?
Yeah, okay. Right. So the page of Wands. How high is his self-esteem? How well does he know his strengths and weaknesses? It's for the page of Wands.
Well, he's young, right? So I think I think he can be very self-confident, but he can also, because he's so young, he may, if somebody really points out something to him and he's not knowing because he's young, I think his self-confidence or self-esteem could just dive. So that's where, the strengths and weaknesses come in. It's like he comes out strong, I think, because he likes to hear that sound of his voice, and then somebody shuts him down.
About his self-esteem, Is it a high self-esteem, or does he just not have a self-esteem? He just seems like he has a high self-esteem because he just does things without thinking, with no consequences, and that would come across as, positive. It would come across as confident, brave, all the good traits. Naughty, mischievous.
Well, he definitely think he can sing, right? He's
We
Mhm.
might think so, but is it because he's got a high self-esteem, or just because he likes singing?
Well, I think it's a false. I think it's a false self because he's young. Okay, he's
Yeah,
Yeah.
young.
yeah.
So it's not difficult. I think he does think a lot of himself, which gives him self-esteem, but in a second that can be taken out from under him.
Mhm.
So yeah, again, the self-esteem is just he's young. So if he's standing there singing at a party, is he singing because he likes singing? He just doesn't care that he sounds crap because he loves singing, or would people say he actually thinks he sounds good, but he's not because he thinks he sounds good?
I think his self-esteem is a little bit of a trial and error. He has a good self-esteem before he performs. If nobody says anything, then his self-esteem grows and he keeps believing that he is the good one. He's the one who can sing better than anybody else. But if he gets some criticism, if people boo him or something, then he can get his self-esteem blown away. But he will try again. He's not, I don't see this page as holding grudges or saying, I will never sing again because that was a catastrophe. No, no. He is always about clean slates and trying again. But he does depend, and in my experience, that page depends on outside validation. He doesn't have the self-assurance that remains strong if people don't approve of what he's doing. And sometimes he does it for people. He does it for people's attention too. He's an attention seeker.
So it's an evolution of his strengths and his weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
Like they keep circling. Like one minute he seems very strong and somebody boos him or says something and shoots him down. And so he feels, his self-esteem is gone, but he has that kind of energy where,
Mm-hmm.
he he's just one of these people. Hey, he just picks himself up and carries on. So he gets punched down, then rises up, punched down, rises up. Yeah,
Until one day he doesn't get down. One day he knows what to do.
yeah.
So he's practicing the art of excellence.
Until he gets it right.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And always optimistic.
But being a page, he's never going to completely get it right.
Don't tell him that.
And do you think that'll stop him?
Yeah, no, yeah, you can't.
Yeah. Obviously, that means doesn't know strength and weaknesses yet because
No, no.
No, they're in development constantly.
yes.
They're good. They're fun. If you're a school teacher, they'll keep you busy. Right. Another question.
Mhm.
Okay. If things aren't going well, how does the page of wands react?
Little tantrum is there. You dare to tell me something? No, that is my wand. Stop it.
Mhm. But what if things are not going well outside, not with him? He sees something that is not going well. I don't know if he sees a fight or something. What do you think his reaction would be? Just to help with the fight, to take action, or
He's got that wand, so I think he would go over there threatening with it, and he would
Mhm.
use his vocal cords to stop the fight, somehow. Like he would definitely be, I don't think he's a fighter per se, other than because he stands behind that wand, right? And he
Mhm.
may trip somebody with it, but I think he's more vocal than he is actually a fighter. So, and I think he's an up and coming mayor or something, you know, that's in his mind where he's going to achieve whatever. So he would use he's practicing his voice, so stopping the fight, and he's, you know, being the hero of the moment. And I say the moment because who knows what's going to happen in the next one.
I think in a fight he would say, "Look, I have an older brother, and his name is Knight of Wands. I will call him."
Yes.
More than likely, that's what he would do.
Or I have
Yes.
a father, and his
Or
name
I
is the
have a
King of
father,
Wands,
King
I have
of
a king
Wands.
of wands. Yes.
and his wand is pretty big. So
Yes. Yes. He's a he's a he's a wannabe king.
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Another question.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The Page of Wands. What song would the Page of Wands sing at a karaoke?
The song that came into my mind is that, and I'm trying to remember the name of the singer. She goes, rah, 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 rah. Lady Gaga. Rah, rah, rah. Like I could see him doing that.
That's poker face.
I know you have a song, Greg.
Yeah, it's something that would get everybody up off of their
I
chairs.
heard him singing Highway to Hell. I don't know why.
There's something heavy, yeah, because it's heavy. You're right. That's hard rock, AC/DC. My word, yeah. So it would be like Anna said, it would be an AC/DC song, "Highway to Hell," or something that would get everybody up, tapping their foot, like "I love rock and roll."
Yeah, he wants participation. Yeah. He wants
Yes,
people to
that's the one.
engage.
So not
Engage.
so much "I sounds like cool." It's like what's gonna get everybody up and booging,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
make everybody laugh, get everybody up, get everybody. You know, you just get those songs where if you go, come on, you can get everybody up.
Yeah, and he'd be waving his wand around to get people joining in and probably pointing the wand to get this group singing and then point to the other side of the room. So like he would just get everybody singing throughout the room.
That's
Whatever
it.
the song
Yeah.
it could be three bot or what is it? How many bottles of beer sort of thing. I could see him doing
Yeah,
that.
he looks like a catalyzer, this guy.
Hmm.
Because if he is in high energy and he sings to people and people engage, it looks like he gets feeding from the energy. He's not like a vampire, but he likes that energy and he gets a lot of that energy inside him and he gives it back. So it's a very alive page.
Yeah. And
It's
if
a
you remember,
it's
because
fire,
he's
right?
young,
It's
like,
wands.
but
Yeah.
but remember young children, the more that things are happening, the more sugar they have, the more whatever, like at a birthday party, you know, the more yelling, the screaming, whatever, like I could see him being the head of all of that. So the more energy that's in the room, he's just going to build on that.
Yeah, but it's not only because he's a kid, because all other pages are supposedly young too, but they don't need this exchange of energy as much as this page
Yeah.
does. You know, he needs
Yeah.
constant oxygen to keep the fire going.
Disruptive. They'll be disruptive for sure.
Oh, they can be, yeah,
Very. Yeah.
that too. Hmm.
He reminds me of the Prince songs, dress differently.
Which ones? Which ones?
Oh my God, oh, sexy and, pearls and diamonds, like dressing up the different way because he dress up differently than the other
Oh,
guy.
you mean the way he dresses?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Why not?
The feather in his cap,
Yeah.
right?
He could be a hunter as well, trying to do some hunting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
except
that
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 he's carrying a wand,
Yes, and
not
he could
not
do
a bow and
anything.
arrow.
Yeah.
He's probably saying, "Over here, over there," and totally, and then the animal just flies away, right? Or runs away because he's yelled it out.
Now, you know, sensible children, when they play with fireworks, you put it into the ground, you light it, and you run away. Right? that page of ones will pick that thing up and start pointing it in different directions. Say, look, I can aim with it and shoot it over there. That's the child that'll do that. They're disruptive. Keep an eye on them with firecrackers. Ones kids. Pages of ones.
Thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, and follow us. And feel free to leave a comment.